Good morning, all of you. In the heart of Punyashlok Ahilyadevi Holkar, Solapur University, Solapur, Maharashtra, School of Earth Sciences, amidst the whispering leaves and the gentle away of trees, today, on the occasion of World Environmental Day, we come together to celebrate the beauty of our planet and reaffirm our commitment to its preservation and restoration. Today, for the celebration of World Environmental Day on 5th June, we have made this day into three sessions. Our first session has begun with the beautiful gesture of renewal and hope as we have united for tree plantation ceremony. And joining us are esteemed our dignitaries, including our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Mahanwar sir, and Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. Dama sir, who have led us in planting around 50 samplings of mango fruits. And I hope these tree will give us fruits and our next generation for next several decades. And today's event will be a symbol of our commitment to our environmental conservations. Meanwhile, I would like to tell that in the virtual realm, our various students from various groups have engaged in an exciting e-quiz session, and it is going on. They will be testing their knowledge and understanding our environmental issues with questions ranging from biodiversity conservations to suitable development. Participants complete to showcase their knowledge, their expertise, and commitment towards the environmental stewardship. And this quiz is open to all of you, and e-certificates will be provided for all the participants. So later on, we have the privilege to attend the webinar which is dedicated for this auspicious day, and where we will be attending a provoking webinar by Professor Aharundip Ahluwalia, who will be enlightening us topics such as land restoration, desertification, and drought resiliences. So get ready to expand your horizon and gain valuable insights into pressing environmental challenges. So before starting our lecture, I would like to request Dr. our Honorable Director, Dr. Dhoab sir, to introduce our speaker to all of us. So, sir, over to you.
Thank you, Farzana madam. So first of all, wish you all happy World Environment Day, and I welcome you in this webinar. So on behalf of School of Earth Sciences at Punishlok Ayala Holkar, Solapur University, Solapur, I extend a warm welcome to all of you on this special occasion of World Environment Day, celebrated on 5th June, that is on today. So I am delighted to welcome our esteemed speaker, Professor Arun Ahuwalia, Eminence Professor of Environmental Science at Sholini University, Solan, and ex-director of the Center of Advanced Studies in Geology at Punjab University, Chandigarh. We also extend a warm welcome to all the environmental conservationists, scientists, teachers, researchers, policymakers, nature lovers, administrators, colleagues, and dear student friends who are present with us today. So thank you all of you taking the time to join us in this webinar. So about the event, Leo Tolstoy once said, one of the first condition of the happiness is that the link between man and nature shall not be broken. The relationship between humans and environment is crucial, and it is essential that we understand and work to maintain this bond. World Environment Day celebrated annually on 5th June, which aims to raise the awareness and promote the actions to conserve our environment, and which is initiated by the United Nations Assembly in 1972. With this day, which marks a global effort to engage communities in environmental preservation. However, the commitment to preserving the environment has deep roots, with many individuals and groups taking initiatives to enhance awareness and promote the sustainability. As Margaret Mead aptly stated, that never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens which can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. This sentiment reflects the purpose of our gathering today. So, Punyashlok Ahilyadevi Holkar Solapur University is proud to organize environmental awareness activities on this day. we have organized morning plantation drive that is already mentioned by our colleague Farzana ma'am. uh, After that we have quiz competition that is whole day uh, in the in the whole day, that is in online mode, and we are providing e-certificate to all the participants. So after that, this is the second activity, that is webinar. And in this webinar we have eminent speaker Professor Arun Ahuwalia. About sir, Professor Ahuwalia is a distinguished geologist and environmentalist currently serving as a member of Intersectoral National Program Advisory and Monitoring Committee of National Program on Carbon Sequestration Research. Previously, he held the significant roles such as environment awareness and outreach, in charge director of the Center for Advanced Study in Geology, coordinator of the Special Assistance Program SAP, and head of the Geology Department at Punjab University. He has also been a visiting scholar at University of Cincinnati, Ohio, and member of the USA National Committee and organizing committee of the International Year of Planet Earth. Additionally, he was a visiting scholar at Zurich. Professor Ahluwalia commenced his career in 1972 with the Geological Survey of India, serving in Andhra Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, and Lucknow until 1982. He joined Punjab University in 1982, where he made the significant contributions in various capacities. He has been a guest speaker at prestigious institutions such as ANU Canberra, Australia, Charles University, Zurich, Lund University, Sweden, and multiple universities in the UK and the USA, among others. His expertise has also led him to be guest researcher in the numerous countries, including the Zurich Republic, France, Germany, Russia, Kazakhstan, Italy, Nepal, Norway, Tanzania, and Pakistan. Over the last 43 years, Professor Awalia has published a high impact research paper in the esteemed journal such as Nature, Geological Magazine, Mineralium Depositia, AAPGA, Bulletin, and several others. He is also a regular guest columnist of on earth and environmental management issues for leading Indian English and Hindi dailies and e-magazine. His coffee table book titled Geomorphology and Landforms, Illustrations from the Himachal Himalaya, co-authored with the O.N. Bhargava and Sanjay Kumbharani, has been highly acclaimed for his pictorial and aesthetic quality. Professor Awalia is a sought after the speaker, having recently spoken at 14th World Congress on the Environment Management, which is organized by the IOD and ITI now. So he is frequently engages with the schools, colleges, business schools, and various organizations such as Lions and Rotary clubs, as well as universities and institutions across India and globally. He is a prominent guest geologist and environmentalist on numerous TV channels, including DD News, Times Now, NDTV, and international broadcasters like ABC Australia, BBC Radio. So with this extensive experience and expertise of the Professor Ahuwalia continues to be leading voice in earth and environmental science, contributing significantly to both academic as well as the public discourse. I once again welcome you, sir, in this webinar from School of Earth Sciences, Punyashlok Ahilya Devi Holkar, Solapur University. Once again, I welcome you, sir, and thank you so much accepting our invitation for this webinar series. So once again, uh, I welcome you, sir, and over to Birazan, ma'am. You are muted, ma'am.
Sorry, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for giving a brief introduction of our speaker. I'm feeling very fortunate to get such a young researcher, I can say, because his work and his passion for works and lot of things what he has done. I cannot imagine I'll get like person like to listen a person like him next some of the days. So I would like to invite respected Professor Ahluwalia sir for delivering his lecture. So it is my humble request, sir, please kindly start your lecture. Thank you very much.
Uh, Thanks a lot, Vinayak and Fizana, and all colleagues who are here. I'm keeping my talk very simple and elementary because I understand it's meant for students. Uh, the It's a chance that this very talk I had delivered in Pune 2 years back, and that was the time when, in fact, and later there was a chance to speak to NSS camp on 26th January uh, in Malad, Bombay. So this got a typical Western India focus, especially Maharashtra focus, and I must say that I owe my uh, foundation in geology to Professor Ashok Madhav Patwardhan, who is now a retired professor at Pune. I met him in that visit 2 years back uh, when I came to cantonment of Pune and had gone to Geological Survey of India in Pune, and that's where I got this geological map of Maharashtra, which is put in the next slides. I dedicate this talk to Professor Ashok Patwardhan. Uh, my first paper, Vinayak mentioned that, or Fidana mentioned that there were papers in Nature. Our first paper uh, together, Patwardhan and Ahluwalia, was published in 1971. I was only 21 and a half years old, and Professor Patwardhan was also a young lecturer, about 28. And we were both known as crazy researchers. And Professor Patwardhan was our hero, a very dashing and very perfect perfectionist in teaching and research. Uh, I wish him long life and good health, and I request you all to tell him when you run into him that Arun Ahluwalia dedicated his talk at Solapur University to Professor Ashok Patwardhan. Uh, I was actually trying to introduce that whole uh, NSS group, this word which I used, citizen scientists. Idea, in fact, during my stay in UN, that project of International Year of Planet Earth, which is mentioned in my intro, I must correct that this biosketch was put together by me several years back. That committee membership was from 2011 to 2015. I'm today a perfectly, completely 100% retired person with only honorary position in Shulni, and I'm a whole-time popular speaker. And I have a YouTube channel which is hidden in this, not, but it is at the rate Earth Talk 365. Vinayak has my YouTube address. You may kindly share, and I shall be accessible to students if they form a group and include me in that WhatsApp group. I was actually fascinated to talk about the Deccan volcanics and the geology of Pune when I found in the cantonment area where Deccan volcanics were making such beautiful building stone. In fact, all over the region and around in about 20% of Indian landscape, Deccan volcanics makes such a magnificent grandeur and the total landscape and the beauty of those flat topped hills. In fact, in 72, during 73 beginning, I had got my first ever opportunity to work in the Hyderabad Deccan volcanics, and I was taught alphabets of volcanic geology, Deccan volcanic geology, by Prabhat Kumar Sinha, who retired as Deputy Director General of Geological Survey. We were tent mates in Hyderabad district and Vikarabad district in 73 for 8 months, and we had mapped a full sheet with half of it that Naxal area, famous area for the Intertrapians, the mammal locality. In fact, I published that paper with as field notes and a geological map. And to my surprise, that small note of mine with Deccan volcanics of Andhra was referred dozens of times in a paper by several eminent workers on dinosaurs in the Paleotree. So that's in fact, this talk I gave in the Army Public Schools, both the Army Public Schools in Pune, and later many digital talks I gave, including that Malad, Mumbai. All these should be available with you, but for me, it was a novelty having the detailed, because of my friends in Geological Survey who helped me write this map. And it was on 26th January, so it was dedicated to the nation building and Republic of India and all Indians. Idea was to make every Indian literate informally in geology. Today, in fact, unfortunately, in spite of our doing so well in so many things, including our landing on moon, uh, only 5% of universities and colleges in our country today formally teach earth sciences. So it's a time that we translate that spirit of that UN project aimed at earth sciences for society through such talks, popular, without jargon, full of illustrations, so that, in fact, all that I'm saying, I had written in a note on geoheritage and landscapes of India in Current Science, published in November 25, 2006, when I was at Cincinnati. And late Dr. Kalam happened to read that note. He was a very different president of India. This is Manjit Majumdar from Guwahati, and that's my wife. I'm looking very healthy compared to what I am today. And Dr. Kalam uh, wrote me that he would like to meet me. And in 2007, I was visiting Noida, and I managed to go there with my laptop and give a 45-minute lecture on the beauty of Indian landscape and the story of the Indian landscape and the story of the red sandstone, which makes Rashtrapati Bhavan, and the geoheritage of all our heritage stones. And this is what is important, that the Deccan volcanics makes a beautiful heritage stone, which even in that cantonment where I was a guest, I found in that beautiful mess of theirs, they had one wall inside that mess covered by plaster, but fortunately, outer blocks were not plastered. And one young lady whose father was a geologist, she was working as an army officer in that cantonment. She told me to impress upon them that they should, under no circumstance, by any chance, uh, plaster the outer wall, because you could see the vesicular top in so many blocks put up there. And my sister-in-law's son was there. I made it known to all of them, but I'm sure I told Makki Saab also to make sure that the army knows where it's working and what's the story of the Deccan volcanics and what's the heritage value of this second biggest volcanic activity on the planet. Uh, on this day, such quotes matter a lot. In fact, I have a habit of clicking pictures for my lectures wherever I get a chance. This was in Grand Canyon. There was at the museum, there was a jeweler shop, and the jeweler's box had a sticker saying humans aren't the only species on earth. We just act like it. The earth does not belong to us. We belong to the earth. In fact, outside my flat, in this room where I'm sitting, we have a little green patch on three sides. Yesterday, after thinking of it number of times, I found it so hot uh, that the birds are dying, and I found the there's pigeons fallen dead, and we put four vessels of that red soil, mitti, outside for the birds. And I recall I was there in summers in Pune, and to my surprise, I found I'm forgetting I think Mula River, perhaps it was. Yeah, Vinayak, am I right? Is it Mula in Pune? Uh,
Right,
that is
sir.
yeah,
Mula.
that got blocked by the vegetation and the pollution in the river. And I found trees were getting वो मुरझा जा रहे थे, पेड़ जो थे. And I told the commandant, uh, who also by chance happened to be Patwardhan, uh, Ganesh Patwardhan, Brigadier Ganesh Patwardhan. And I met him in the morning walk, and I asked him, how come all Patwardhans are so smart? He laughed. He said, who's the other Patwardhan? I said, uh, my Patwardhan was very young up when I met him, and he was my guru, and he remains my guru forever. So such this was the theme of that project, that Earth and Environment Outreach was the theme of that UN project, that it empowers humanity. The summing up of it was that this emblem for this project, Earth Science for Society, is a 3 years festival proposed by UN General Assembly. All the 155 countries had voted for this, realizing that the actual number of Earth scientists uh, required for the planet was we required millions and millions of our scientists, and we had a very small fraction of what was required. If that is true for the developed world, you can imagine how badly as India. We land on moon, and we need to land a geologist there for sure. The people who land there cannot be anybody other than a very well trained, very fit and young geologist. In fact, today morning I had gone to a school. Uh, its name was Decent Children's School, high school, model school, and here we have the advantage of having a laptop and working. There, the school could not organize a mic or could not organize a projection, etc., etc. I told them that when this happens, that's the time when the talk and the interaction is the best. And I tell you, I spent about 65 minutes talking to those 100 or more school kids from class 8 to 10. And I must say that credit goes to likes of Professor Patwardhan, Professor Om Bhargav, Professor B.S. Tiwari, Professor S.B. Bhatia, Professor Shoksani, and all others, my colleagues in Geological Survey and my colleagues across the universities in India and abroad, who taught me this, who gave me, who got me injected with the love for our sciences, love for Earth, and love for environment. This logo was copied from the German logo, and the inner red is inner circle representing the solid Earth, then the biosphere in green, and the hydrosphere in dark blue, above which is the pale blue atmosphere, all constituents of the Earth system. I told those kids that, in fact, the organizers were IIT Kanpur products. The husband was a retired chief secretary, and the wife was I. This is SPSTI, Society for Promotion of Science and Technology in Society. And uh, you see, a scientist could become a bureaucrat, and a scientist was a professor, and they had called another scientist to interact with those kids. And in that 65 minutes, had I got my laptop opened and I got the projector, I wouldn't have been able to do even a fraction of what I did. I talked in simple language, हिंदी में बात करी, पंजाबी में बात करी, थोड़ी अंग्रेजी में बात करी. बच्चे बोले कि आप हमसे मिक्स्ड में ही बात करिए. सुनामी की बात हुई, भूचाल की बात हुई, फ्लैश फ्लड्स की बात हुई, लैंडस्लाइड्स की बात हुई, पानी के पोल्यूशन की बात हुई, एयर पोल्यूशन की बात हुई, और करियर इन जियोलॉजी बच्चों से वो बात हुई. आई विश somebody had recorded what we talked, because उस flow में, उस आवेश में और उस emotional atmosphere में, जैसे बच्चे 100% जैसे वो they were sitting in their chairs upright and listening. Rarely it happens that the audience is so good and you are so inspired by God and your teachers and the audience to cover up so many things in a small moment. Then that bureaucrat, that chief secretary retired, who used to be a MSc student at IIT Kanpur, he said that you tell them what a geologist earns. Then I told them that you need to be a geologist at heart. It doesn't matter what degree you got. The degree doesn't matter. It is the love for rocks, the love for fossils, the love for landscape, the love for the total earth system, and realization that all our wealth, all our sustenance comes from here. And if we pollute this आसमानी रंग, इनफैक्ट ये बात बच्चों को आज जब बोली, जब हम जब स्कूल किड्स थे, तो हम अगर लाइट ब्लू शर्ट पहनते थे तो बोलते थे आसमानी शर्ट डालेंगे। आज के बच्चे आसमानी नहीं बोलते, बिकॉज उन्होंने आसमान को आसमानी रंग का देखा ही नहीं है। तो वो बड़ा हंसने लगे कि साहब आज हमने पहली बार ये वर्ड सुना है। मैं कहा मुझे खालसा कॉलेज अमृतसर ने एक कॉलेज, grand college, that Khalsa College Amritsar, very rare to see such a big college. The big schools within that campus. It's much more than a university, that college. And there I had told them that I traveled from Chandigarh to Amritsar. I did not see एक पिक्चर बनी थी जिसका शायद उसका टाइटल ये था, एक मुट्ठी आसमान। विनायक, कैन यू रिमेम्बर? शायद हमारी एज वालों ने तो वो पिक्चर देखी, उसमें एक गीत था, हर कोई चाहता है एक मुट्ठी आसमान।
Yes, sir.
ऐसे
Yes.
कहाँ पहुंच गए हम कि एक मुट्ठी आसमान नहीं मिलता, और कहाँ हम कपड़ा खरीदते हुए कहते थे हमें आसमानी रंग पसंद है। तो हमें आसमानी रंग तो पसंद है, पर आज की तारीख में अगर हम आसमानी पहन के दिल्ली में चले जाएं, I also told them that I got my job through UPSC, and when I went to ढोलपुर हाउस, मैंने कहा अभी मैंने वो पिक्चर देखी थी 12वीं फेल, और तब मुझे ढोलपुर हाउस बड़ा याद आया। और क्योंकि तब जियोलॉजिस्ट एग्जाम के लिए दिल्ली ही जाना होता था, आजकल तो चंडीगढ़ में हर शहर में हो जाता है। तो तब वो चीफ सेक्रेटरी साहब रिटायर्ड आए, तो मैंने कहा ये देखिए, ये भी ढोलपुर हाउस जाके ही एग्जाम दिए होंगे। और that actually stirred them up a lot. And when I told them, one of my students, Dr. Ritesh Arya, has made millions and millions in groundwater exploration. So much wealth he has that he set up his own museum in Kasoli. The Kasoli sandstone itself is a great heritage stone. The entire cantonment of Kasoli and around that sandstone is a massive sandstone. It's so difficult to see any layering, mostly the plant fossils and whatnot. So uh, in that 65 minutes, I could pack up so much, and it was all digested by the students. So in fact, today I was thinking, because it's a virtual audience, so it won't work. But in a physical audience, it really worked wonderfully. And since I'm talking to highly educated persons, so I'm just sharing the experiment. I'm not trying to teach you anything. I'm just sharing the experiment. I'm sharing the excitement, and sharing that feeling that any country which ignores its earth and environmental sciences cannot be ever a developing country or a developed country. It's doomed to remain a downtrodden country. I'm sorry to say, India has to catch up and be at par with at least China, if not Germany and Switzerland and the USA and Canada. They are the 100% literacy in earth sciences. Here, people trying to go to geology land up in zoology and vice versa. So, Indian cultural and natural sites, all this uh, some GSI friends who were my contemporaries um, had organized a webinar. In fact, some of it was put up then. Before that, I didn't know how to give a webinar. And it was during COVID that I learned giving a webinar. And today, when Vinayak said that you will talk through virtual, in fact, the beauty and the poetic language used for the landscape of your university tempts me to say, Vinayak, प्लीज यार हमें जरूर बुलाना वहां पे. अभी तो वर्चुअल है मामला, पर एक बार महाराष्ट्र में तुम्हारे साथ फील्ड वर्क करना है. तो अभी
जरूर सर,
आई एम ओनली
मोस्ट वेलकम.
74. अभी आई एम ओनली 74. ऐसे अभी तो मैं जवान हूँ, चल सकता हूँ. तो कुछ देखेंगे, कुछ फोटोग्राफी करेंगे, और कुछ हो सका
यस
तो
सर.
आपकी आप लोगों के साथ इकट्ठे लिखेंगे. तो
यस सर.
so this a little bit about today. See, normally what happens when we talk on environment day, botanists and chemists and others ask what geologists have got to do with environment day. Their concept is that only botanists or zoologists have. In fact, the beauty of the environment is this, that almost everybody thinks it belongs to them, including public administrators. So this concept of geoparks started in 2001, and China has so many geoparks UNESCO recognized that it has overtaken, it has left US behind, and we as yet do not have even one UNESCO standard, UNESCO recognized geopark in India. And I have not seen that locality, but I've heard a lot about those potholed landscape close to Pune and perhaps your university. And I would love to uh, have some inputs from those who have captured and illustrated the great sites in Maharashtra. I'm not trying to teach anything here, but this is one simple slide to talk to students. When geologists talk, often they get lost in the details, which are not required. But in one slide, if you can tell them the story of life. In fact, when Saketi Fossil Park was inaugurated, that the sea scorpion, which is bigger than a man, and uh, that time the Geological Survey of India had brought out on its 125th anniversary, when Saketi Fossil Park was inaugurated. I had joined Geological Survey just 3 years back, and there they published letters of Nehru to Indira. It was titled Life Through Ages, Story of Life Through Ages, um, Letters to Dear Indu. And Nehruji had written those letters from jail. You imagine he had a course with Birbal Sani in Cambridge University. Geology was one of his subjects, and he could write this story. Uh, Now, we have to at least try that in simple language, a story like this can be talked by any school boy or girl, and we should be able to, at least our own kids in the family and our extended family. If we are geologists and if doesn't happen, in fact, my grandson and um, Kabir is only 8 years old, and since 5 years or maybe 5.5 years, he has been uh, engaged in seeing pictures. And now the story, in fact, one of the narrations I put on my YouTube, Kabir narrated, he had a game on dinosaurs, and the way he told me about that, if I sent it to big scholars, and they wondered how can an 8-year-old be talking in detail and comparing and telling such a narration. That narration, if we manage to give, then geologists would do justice to their presence in this country and to the great rich geological heritage of this country. Now, I was told that we have something to focus on the landscape and the droughts and the total scenario. Now, one thing I would like to say very frankly and brutally frankly, climate has become uh, a tool to exploit the poor countries. It's a tool in the hands of the rich countries. Biggest pollution they do, and we are told to stop some development activities, though we should be very responsible because we are not any small insignificant nation. We are a very important nation in the world. But the truth is this story of man caused global warming. Earlier they used to call it global warming, now they call it climate change. When I ask any audience, in fact, I've been giving popular lectures for nearly 25 years. In 2002 or 3, when there was Indian Science Congress in Bangalore, BPR had called me. He had come to Chandigarh year before or a few months before. He said, "When you come to Bangalore, stay with us." And um, it was there that he told me that I see the zeal in you, and I give you the flag of Geological Society of India to initiate an outreach program. It was in 2004 that I launched on Amar Sani's birthday, 4th March perhaps, that I launched the formal program of outreach in geological, um, uh, on the behalf of Geological Society of India. So, in fact, I used to do it as a tradition in Punjab University. We used to have a winter festival in which we had a smaller museum. Now we have a much bigger museum, and an extension has been created by Professor Choksani in Sector 10 and also in Science City Kapurthala. So we used to have such a big audience, public coming to our museum. And as BSc first year students, we were trained to talk to general public on the fossils, minerals, crystals, and the story of the Earth. So the climate story, uh, at least when we say that climate has been changing, it has been going up and down much before this culprit man evolved and spread out on this planet. Dinosaurs had a and early mammals had a much warmer uh, period, and sea levels are actually the lowest ever in almost the lowest ever in Earth history today. And global warming or global cooling is all up and down. These curves are up. In the other slide, the curves are cooling are down. So when you talk this, that it has happened without man, when a process of nature, so when it takes us effort for geologists to tell them that climate change is largely natural in geological history, and man may be, as scientists, we will only say maybe, contributing to hastening an ongoing natural process. Is nothing more than this is truth. Anything which is overemphasized beyond it is not science. That becomes politics of climate and exploitation. Here the curves of cooling are up. That in the last 18,000 years, where the temperatures have gone, no doubt Earth is warming up. We are feeling burnt up. Our plants are getting burnt up even in the hot air without sun falling on them. But the cooling has happened at these are just thousands of years. And then again, a bigger period of cooling happened 6,000 to 4,000. And then again, you have uh, the curves down are the cooling one. No, I was wrong here. So this is another cooling, this is another cooling, and another cooling happened just a while ago. I'm sure the man had not had the capacity to pollute during this period. During this period, how much man was spread out during this period. What happened here and here, the warming and the cooling, happened naturally. We are in this curve going up naturally, but we are creating gas chambers, and 16 cities out of the 20 most polluted cities of the world are in our country. Sometimes they're 15, sometimes they're 16, but they're never 14. And the most polluted region of our country happens to be our beautiful capital, NCR. Sometimes Gurgaon is more polluted, sometimes Delhi is more polluted. But when you happen to go from Chandigarh to that place, even Chandigarh is one of the 100 most polluted cities of the country today. I spent 4 months in Canada last year, and when I came back, I was not able to breathe here because it was close to Diwali time, and I had to go to Fortis Hospital to consult a doctor. वो मेरे पे हंसने लगा कि आप 4 महीने कनाडा में जाए तो आपका दिमाग खराब हो गया। मैं कहा दिमाग खराब की बात नहीं भैया, there is more pollution here. It's true, my sensitivity has increased because I was in almost zero pollution. But had polluted great regions of US and Canada. One day in Burlington, I found the atmosphere is as bad as Delhi because the wind has come from those wildfires and brought all the pollution and the particulate matter. It was burning our throats and eyes. Uh, and we were waiting for rain to come. And we always wait for rain to come. The issue for our friends, especially our farmer friends in Maharashtra and all these drought prone areas, is 40,000 cubic kilometers of अमृत ये पानी बरसता है across the world. जब पानी बरसता है तो पड़ोस में बरसा, राजस्थान में भी तो बारिश होती है। उन लोगों के यहाँ तो ऐसा नहीं होता कि इतना ज्यादा हो जाए जो हमारे महाराष्ट्र में आजू बाजू में जो होता है। इसका इलाज एक वाटर मैनेजमेंट, साइंटिफिक वाटर मैनेजमेंट, not by experts but by the man at the grassroots. See, the day we tell them that what rains belongs to all, what rains must be used. If we let, in fact, in Chandigarh too, we have this problem. One day, Radio Mirchi called me. I don't know who gave them my number. So why South Chandigarh is not having rain? जियोलॉजिस्ट तो मैंने कहा भैया नहीं होती कई बार बारिश एक शहर में, बड़े शहर में तो होता है, छोटा शहर है हो गया। तो नहीं सर कुछ तो बताओ आप। तो मैंने उससे उल्टा सवाल पूछा, यू टेल मी व्हाई शुड इट रेन इन साउथ चंडीगढ़? ही सेड व्हाई शुड इट नॉट? आई सेड घास लगी थी फुटपाथों पे, तुमने वहां पेवर ब्लॉक्स लगा दिए। ये हमारे देश में, पूरे देश में, दिल्ली में भी मैं देख रहा हूं, हर जगह पे ये घास को उखाड़ के और उसके अंदर क्या क्रीपर जितने थे सबके सब उखाड़ दिए क्योंकि पेवर ब्लॉक्स लगाने हैं। कोई गैस की पाइप लगाने आया, उसने पेवर ब्लॉक्स उखाड़ दिए, तोड़ दिए। कोई दूसरा आया, उसने अपनी वो वाईफाई की लगानी थी, उसने भी तोड़ दिए। पूरे देश में हमारे पेवर ब्लॉक्स का मलबा पड़ा है हर फुटपाथ पे। चलने वाले मॉर्निंग वॉकर्स, especially people, senior people, they find it's dangerous for them. And जो टूट गया, we have a huge solid waste problem which is not resolved. Our forest close to my society, just adjoining the biggest petrol pump of the city, and huge dry wood, huge bushes, are they all thrown around in that forest. Number of times I cautioned the petrol pump chap and including our housing society chaps. I said the day this forest catches fire, because I found in Pune somebody threw somebody smoked BD and threw that match uh, stick, and I found मेरे देखते देखते ढेर सारी घास जल गई। एंड वो घास जलने के बाद में वो जो पेड़ सूखे हुए थे ऑलरेडी, हमारे यहाँ के कम से कम घास जलेगी तो पेड़ को नहीं जला पाएगी, वो पेड़ भी जल गए। And I brought that matter to the notice of some friends in army that कम से कम हमारे यहाँ तो ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए ना। उनको पानी देने के लिए वो कौन सा उसी मूला रिवर से पानी खींचते हैं और वो डाल देते हैं। इतनी गंध है उस पानी में, वहां वाले में, मूला रिवर के क्लोज टू the cantonment we have a river in a beautiful historic town like Pune, if we have this situation, ये एनवायरमेंट डे जो हम सेलिब्रेट करते हैं 100-200 पौधे लगा के और बाद में उसमें पानी भी नहीं देते और वो बारिश आने से पहले मर जाते हैं और एक बारिश से वो पनपेंगे नहीं। जहाँ भी पौधे लगाइए तो उनमें पानी देने का सिस्टम ही रखिए, स्टूडेंट्स भी दें पानी उसमें, स्टाफ भी दे, टीचर्स भी दें। सीनियर मोस्ट लोग पानी देते दिखे उन प्लांट्स में। अदरवाइज मैंने देखा वो फर्गुसन कॉलेज के पीछे वो जो पहाड़ी थी, उसमें लोगों ने कम्युनिटी के तौर पे ऊपर ऊपर बिल्कुल स्लोप में पौधे लगाए थे और वो कैनी भर के पानी की लेके जा रहे थे उठा के पहाड़ पे अप द हिल, फर्गुसन हिल पे, कि उसमें पानी दे रहे थे। दैट स्पिरिट एंड दैट रिस्पेक्ट फॉर प्लांट्स एंड वाटर आई हैव seen, but that that the very senior people were carrying water to plant the plants they had planted. That was a, a great Maharashtrian spirit. In fact, my sister was almost settled in Bombay for Malad for 49 years till she shifted here. We are the only two siblings alive. She used to keep water for the pigeons in her extended window on the 8th floor in a flat which she used to live in. And water consumed by the birds was around 20 liters a day. उस इतने सारे स्टील के वेसल्स रखे हुए थे that the pigeon could put its neck inside to drink water. And consciousness for birds and animals' needs for water, and plants' need for water, and farmers' need for water. There has to be a massive social thinking on this issue. In fact, early morning, I found a couple who had placed 30 vassals in the two parks in our adjoining my house, the society, and they spent about 2.5 hours filling up all those vessels in the morning and the evening. This is the spirit of the Shanti part जो हम हर ओकेजन पे अपने घर में करते हैं। इनफैक्ट एनवायरमेंट डे पे मैंने कहीं पे ये बात बोली थी कि आज एल्गोर ने मूवी बना दी या यूएन ने एक एनवायरमेंट डे कह दिया। हमारा हम ये नहीं कहते कि हमारी सभ्यता सबसे ज्यादा सुपीरियर है, पर एक सेंसिटिविटी थी उस प्रेयर में, रिफ्लेक्ट होती है फॉर टोटल द system and the peace on the earth, peace for the vegetation, peace for the waters, peace for the hills, peace for the rivers. वो वाला जो भावना है, हम वो पाठ तो हर रोज योगा में भी करते हैं, वो गुरुजी बाद में वो शांति पाठ होता है योग के बाद में, बट we need to practice that Shanti part in every family, every school, and we need to inculcate that spirit of respect for water, respect for vegetation, respect for soils in our kids in school level. आज के दिन अच्छा फिर एनवायरमेंट डे 5 जून को मना के एनवायरमेंट डे नहीं होता। हम दिन में 4 बार 5 बार 6 बार पानी पीते हैं ना, सांस लेते हैं ना हर पल। एनवायरमेंट डे 24 घंटे 365 दिन हमारे दिल में होना चाहिए। हमारी आज बच्चों को मैंने इतना ही पूछा, उन्होंने मुझे थोड़ा पानी दिया, फिर ग्लास ले आए, पहले वो बोतल लाने लगे थे प्लास्टिक वाली। मैं कहा खबरदार, अगर तुम बोतलें प्लास्टिक की लेके आओगे एनवायरमेंट डे पे एक लेक्चर में, इट्स अ शेम ऑन अस, इट्स कंट्राडिक्ट्स आवर होल सिस्टम। एंड फिर तो भूल जाए। इनफैक्ट हमने भी देखी है दुनिया, हमने तो कभी नहीं देखा था ये प्लास्टिक की बोतलों से पानी पीते हुए। घड़ा रखा होता था, उसमें से पानी लेके पी लेते थे ना। तो ये बड़ा अजीब सा सिस्टम है। इसके खिलाफ बोलते हुए भी आप बेवकूफ लगते हो, बट सच्चाई ये है कि वो दांडी यात्रा में जो गांधी जी ने गाया था गीत, जो दी तोरे डाक सुने क्यों ना आशे तो बे एकला चलोड़े, वो वही भावना से हमें पर्यावरण दिवस मनाना है, वही भावना से हमें अपनी जियोलॉजिकल हेरिटेज को, ये एक देखिए ये सुंदर सा शहर नैनीताल का, ये छोटा सा शहर है Professor Kotlia recently passed away. He had for 12 years done research on the landslides which were threatening the city of Nainital. उसने बेचारे ने पेपर भी छापे, अखबारों में भी छापा. And 2 years back, when Joshi Mutt was in news, I invited Bahadur Kotlia to give a talk on Google Meet, and I put it on my YouTube Earth Talks. He said Joshi Mutt और कितने सारे शहर, they're all going because the geologists don't have a voice in our system. And geologists, due to this helplessness, have become gutless and spineless. वो बोलते हुए डरते हैं कि यहाँ पे भी एक्सप्रेसवेज ने जियोलॉजी का बेड़ा गर्क कर दिया और पूरी आउटक्रॉप्स जो क्लासिकल आउटक्रॉप्स थी वो काट दी, फेंक दी. मलबा पूरा घाटियों में फेंक दिया. जो चमोली में हुआ, ऊपर से एक एवलांच आया एंड वो पूरा का पूरा डेब्री जो था वो आया नीचे फोर्स के साथ में, एंड डैम ऐसे गए जैसे ताश के पत्ते उड़ते हैं, जैसे एक माचिस की डब्बी उड़ती है. This is the environmental problem in this country. The total landscape is threatened. If Nainital can be threatened, if Chamoli could be threatened, if this Joshi Mutt could be threatened, so all our religious fervor, all our respect for nature, all our respect for hills and rivers and lakes, and the way we throw shit into the untreated uh, affluents into our lakes and rivers and all wetlands, it contradicts our total cultural heritage and total philosophy of our um, motherland. There is a need to, this was the quote, education is the kindling of a flame, not the filling up of a vessel. We need to ignite that zeal. Today, I managed to do it like I never did before. And they were telling me to take a cup of tea. I said, no, I have to go back to my place, take my early lunch, and get ready for a talk in Maharashtra. They were so excited that a geologist could be invited for so many popular talks. In the evening, I'm talking in Rishikesh. So this story of India, this story, this past of India, and its gradual journey northwards, this story impacts. And when you talk to them that when India was around here, the story of the Deccan volcanics impacts. The story of the dinosaurs couple, ये हमको ये जिसको बोल, मैं एक्चुअली, मुझसे कई लोग पूछते हैं तुम बहुत ज्यादा बोल लेते हो, कई जगह बोलते हो, हाउ कम. आई सेड मैं तुम्हें बता रहा हूँ, खाली जियोलॉजी का लेक्चर लोग नहीं सुन रहे. जब आप एनवायरमेंट की बात कर रहे हो, उसकी कॉकटेल बनाते हो, somebody jokingly said, yes, cocktail is better. I said, that's not the question. You find so many geology departments are getting shut up, and they coexist with environmental sciences, or they ride piggyback on environmental sciences, then it clicks. That is because our country, by and large, our leadership, by and large, our media, by and large, our total public policy system, by and large, is illiterate in earth sciences. We had a Japanese earthquake team in geology department many years back. Uh, it was soon after Dr. Manmohan Singh had been to Japan. Our finance secretary of UT Chandigarh was present there, and he was asking us, how come these active faults close to Pinjore and Chandigarh and Manimajra were discovered? Why were we not told about it? I said, Mr. Finance Secretary, firstly, why should somebody tell you about it? You, as public policy makers, should have a system which automatically feeds the system about all the recent developments in our sciences and in the disaster management in the water region. He said, I'm here because we had instructions from the PMO that when the Japanese teams come, we should be there. Then I told him that, look, The IIT Kanpur people and the Japanese people have been working for years here, and it has been published in all the newspapers what was being done about the active force being here. But how come the administration? I said the real trouble is that you do not have a geological cell which is closely monitoring. And since you don't know the word geology, so the, that's why we don't blame you. So fault will ultimately lie with all of us who are doing geology and environmental sciences. We have to be vocal and we have to speak and write in simple language, and we have not to give up. We have to assert. Otherwise, in future, some generations will tell us that you never told the story of the Indian landscape and the disaster. I told the kids today morning the story of the tsunami that when 26th December 2004 the tsunami came, our home minister was saying we never heard of this tsunami before. We were advised to have a warning system, but we thought why we spent 50 crore or something like that when we don't get any tsunami here. Later, I was invited by Hindustan Times to write an article. I researched a bit. I came to know five tsunamis here, and five tsunamis here had happened in the last 250 to 300 years. So, who said that tsunami didn't come here? Who said it didn't come here? In fact, I was telling the kids in the morning that I used to visit Juhu Beach with when my sister was there, and when I saw all those houses of Amitabh Bachchan, Shah Rukh Khan, and I don't know Shah Rukh Khan is there or not, but I saw Amitabh's house and some flats very close to the beach. I felt if a tsunami were to come here, none of them would survive. In fact, this thing nobody tells them that you should stay away. Your houses should be away from the reach of a tsunami. In fact, the future of sea level rise, sea levels, as I said, are the lowest ever in Earth history, but they are bound to rise. They were never, they were higher, and they will be higher in future. So all and the flash floods, same problem, and we have to have our habitations a little away from the reach of at least a tsunami. So these are some issues of uh, landscape stability and landscape safety of public, which must be constantly talked with all concerned because it doesn't concern just geologists, it concerns every living being. जब मैंने बच्चों को ये बोला कि मैं आपको थोड़ा सा डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट की बता के जा रहा हूँ, सेफ्टी प्रिकॉशन बता रहा हूँ, तो रॉक्स के बारे में, ये डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ रॉक्स के बारे में मैंने जब सब कुछ थोड़ा थोड़ा उनको बताया और माउंटेन बिल्डिंग के बाद, तो दे understood it well, and they understood it because of my effort to communicate with them and without illustrations. I could manage to talk to those. Why can't we talk to all the bureaucracy and the all the media and our leadership? How come our leadership is ठीक है, गडकरी साहब ने एक दिन पार्लियामेंट में वो मोस्ट स्केल ऑफ हार्डनेस बता दिया था, एंड ही सेड अगर आप वो लाइमस्टोन को यूज करोगे सड़क में तो वो नहीं बचेगा. बट why a country which had a geologist as the first prime minister? Why should that country today be illiterate in geosciences largely? अब पानी की इनफैक्ट पानी वाली टॉक, ये एक मेरी टॉक थी जो मैंने एनसीईआरटी में आई वाज इनवाइटेड टू टॉक ऑन द स्टोरी ऑफ वाटर. आज पानी की बात इतनी सी हुई कि जब वो पानी मुझे दिए गए, फिर एक गिलास ले आए, तो बोले साहब गिलास से पी लीजिए. आई सेड जो तुमने थर्मस के ढक्कन में दिया था पहले मैं वो पूरा पीऊंगा. और मैंने कहा बच्चों, मान लिया कि वो पड़ा रह गया एक दो दिन और आप उसको पीना नहीं चाहते तो क्या करेंगे उसका? टू माई सरप्राइज बच्चे एक आवाज में बोले सब हम उसको गमले में डाल देंगे. हम में से कितने लोग हैं जो पानी जो थोड़ा सा बच जाता है उसको गमले में डालते हैं? ये छोटी सी चीज है पर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है. ऐसे किसी एनवायरमेंट डे पे मुझे हमारे वाइस चांसलर साहब थे, उन्होंने कहा कि घर जाते हुए तुम एक मॉडल स्कूल है सेक्टर 35 में, वहां जाओगे मैं चले गया, वहां भी प्रिंसिपल ने मुझे पानी दिया और असेंबली करवा दी। और मैंने कहा मैं ये गिलास देते नहीं, आपको वहां पे और दे देंगे। मैं कहा नहीं, मैं इसी को लेके जाऊंगा। और मैंने वहां पे ये बात बोली कि मेरे गिलास में आधा पानी है, मैं इसको क्यों लेके आया हूं बताओ। दे कुडंट अंडरस्टैंड। आई सेड आई हैव कम टू टेल यू कि मैंने वो आधा गिलास वॉश बेसिन में नहीं फेंका, और आपको भी याद रखिए, या तो पी जाइए पूरा या उसको यूज कर दीजिए कहीं पे, फेंकिए नहीं। ये पानी अमृत है। अगर पानी की वैल्यू समझनी है आपको, तो वो ड्रॉट प्रोन एरियाज हमारे जो वेस्टर्न इंडिया में हैं और कई जगह पे साउथ इंडिया में हैं, ढेर सारा हमारा एरिया जो है, एवरेजिंग तो हमारी अच्छी है पूरे देश की, पर जब किसी एरिया में ड्रॉट होता है तो हमारे सिस्टम में वहां भी कभी तो बारिश आती होगी। आई सेड अगर तुमने पानी के लिए इज्जत देना और पानी के बारे में अकल सीखनी हो तो राजस्थान जाइए, आपको वहां पे अकल आ जाएगी। I I saw in Lahore Spiti in a village called Chichim, a guy in the village, a teacher, had made a greenhouse. ग्रीन हाउस में उसने सब्जी सुब्जी लगा रखी थी, जहां पे चंडीगढ़ वाली धनिया पुदीना सब कुछ हो रहा था, 14,000 की हाइट पे। मैंने कहा मेरे को नहाने को नहीं मिला, इसे साहब आप नहा लीजिए उसके अंदर, पर आप वहां पे साबुन नहीं यूज करिएगा, गर्म पानी में आपको दे रहा हूँ। और वो गर्म पानी भी मैंने थर्मल उससे किया किया है, जो मेरा लगा हुआ है सोलर वाला। तो आप साबुन से वो सॉइल खराब हो जाएगी। क्या बढ़िया तरीका था। उसने मुझे पानी दे दिया नहाने के लिए भी, और वो पानी उसकी उसमें चला गया, रीयूज हो गया, रिसाइकल हो गया। तो मैं कोई बहुत टेक्निकल बात बिल्कुल भी नहीं करना चाह रहा, बट मैं आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू शेयर माय एक्सपेरिमेंट्स इन सोशल अवेकनिंग। अगर कई बार अखबार में क्या क्या छप जाता है, खासतौर पे ये दैनिक भास्कर, इनफैक्ट अगर आप अंग्रेजी के अखबारों की बात करेंगे और अंग्रेजी में ही बात करेंगे, मैं शुरू में आई एम सॉरी मैंने काफी अंग्रेजी में बात कर ली, कहीं नहीं पहुंचती। हमारी जो मातृभाषा है, इनफैक्ट अभी शायद न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में आया है कि आप लोकल लैंग्वेजेस में पढ़ाइए। लोकल लैंग्वेजेस में हम कैसे पढ़ाएंगे? आर के पुरम में एक इंस्टीट्यूट है, जो हमारा डिपार्टमेंट है टेक्निकल टर्मिनोलॉजी का, वहां पे कुछ जो किताबें लिखी गई जो कि तू पड़ी रही कूड़ेदान में गई, किसी ने नहीं देखी। आज अगर आपको पूरी सोसाइटी को अक्रॉस द कंट्री पढ़ाना है, तो आपको मराठी में, बंगला में, मलयालम में, तेलुगु में, इनफैक्ट 3 साल मैं आंध्रा में रहा हूं, मैं तो अच्छी खासी तेलुगु समझ लेता था और बोल भी लेता था। ये बात मैंने एनसीईआरटी में कही कि अगर मैं आंध्रा, साउथ आंध्रा पे जाके वहां पे ये बोलूं, ना बोलूं कि मांची नीलू कावेली, ऐसे मांची का, मैं कहा ये बोलना पड़ता है कि अच्छा पीने वाला पानी चाहिए, अच्छा बोलना पड़ता है, तो आपको पानी नहीं मिलेगा। तो हर पूरे इतना बड़ा हमारा, इतनी वैरायटी है लैंडस्केप की, रॉक्स की, सॉइल्स की, और हमारी कोस्ट लाइन में भी, बट वी देर इज वेराइटी, देर इज अ बिग नीड टू कम्युनिकेट विद दी 140 करोड़ लोग जो हैं, और उनसे आप अगर कम्युनिकेट नहीं करोगे, उनको समझाओगे नहीं, तो कोई सा सस्टेनेबिलिटी का प्रोग्राम सक्सेस नहीं होगा। एक तो पहले तो हमारा पढ़ाने का सिस्टम हो, और हर लेवल के पढ़ाने का सिस्टम हो। एक सोशल अवेकनिंग का, इको लिटरेसी का जो सिस्टम है एट पंचायत लेवल, और इवन हमारे लैंडस्केप का जो, आंध्रा में तो हर जगह पे तालाब बने हुए थे, मैंने देखा, हम लोग तंबू लगाते थे ड्यूरिंग माय स्टे इन आंध्रा। आई फाउंड जो उनका एंशिएंट सिस्टम था वाटर कंजर्वेशन का, काफी इफेक्टिव था वो, उनका गुजारा उससे चल रहा था। अभी छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं, लीज रोकें, हमारी सोसाइटीज में ऑल ओवर द कंट्री, हाउसिंग सोसाइटीज में जो पाइप्स लगी पहले, वो वाली लगी, जो मेटल वाली, वो गल गई, और हर घर में, पुणे में भी मुझे पटवर्धन साहब ने बताया, ये हर जगह पे प्रॉब्लम है। कोई मैंडेटरी सिस्टम नहीं है टू चेंज दोज वाटर पाइप्स which need to be changed, but everywhere you have seepage into the houses, the steel used in the flats is rusting, And I declared here in some talks in the Rotary Club that the first blocks to fall would be the ever wet blocks, बड़े भूचाल में. तो आप अपनी सेफ्टी देख लीजिए, पानी की कितनी वेस्टेज हो रही है उन लीकिंग पाइप्स में, और आपका आशियाना जो आज आप फ्लैट बेचिए, करोड़ का, 1.5 करोड़ का, 2 करोड़ का, 5 करोड़ का भी बिक जाता है, बट अगर उसका स्टील गल गया है, मुझसे लिखवा लो, लीज आपकी 99 ईयर्स की, आप तब तक तो जिंदा रहेंगे नहीं, पर आपके जीते जी आपका फ्लैट टूट जाएगा. वो ऐसे नहीं टूटेगा. पर भूचाल तो अपने देश में आते ही है ना, तगड़े तगड़े, और खास तौर पे हिमालय में और हमारे नॉर्थ इंडियन सिटीज में. सो मैंने सब चीजों को मिक्स किया जो आपने मुझे थीम बोला था. मैं इनफैक्ट आई वाज नॉट अवेयर. ये एक एग्जांपल आपके सामने, ये मेरी अपनी यूनिवर्सिटी के कैंपस का है, मेरे घर के पड़ोस में. पीने के पानी की पाइप फट गई, एक्शन ऑफिस को पता ही नहीं लगा. जब मैंने देखा तालाब बन गया सड़क पे, वो बोले यार फोटो क्यों खींच ली. मैं कहा मैं लेक्चर में यूज करूंगा, और मेरे को तो रिटायर हुए वो हो गए कितने साल, और मैं इसको यूज करता हूँ. मैं कहता हूँ मैं ये नहीं कह रहा मेरी यूनिवर्सिटी में, वो मैं कहता हूँ हर यूनिवर्सिटी में, हर सोसाइटी में ये होता है. गुड़गांव में हुआ, मैंने वहां पे थोड़ा हल्ला किया, और मुझे डीसी गुड़गांव से फोन आया जब मैं चंडीगढ़ आ चुका था, कि साहब लोकेलिटी बताइए. बड़े शर्म की बात है, तुम्हारे शहर की लोकेलिटी मैं बताऊं तुमको. फिर मैं थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन किया, तो दे सेड के साहब वो टर्शरी वाटर था. सो व्हाट, टर्शरी वाटर की कोई वैल्यू नहीं है, आपने तालाब बना दिया सड़क के ऊपर में, और जिसको आप मिलेनियम सिटी बोलते हो वहां पे, ये देखिए एक सिटी ब्यूटीफुल चंडीगढ़ का हाल है, और वो भी पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी की सड़क को देखिए. ये वाले घास कई सारी जगह पे, घास काटने की जगह उसको वो जला दे रहे हैं. ये तो मैं तो देख रहा था कि यूनिवर्सिटी में वो कर रहे हैं, अब तो पूरी स्टेट्स में घास जला के वो पूरा पोल्यूशन एयर का, और मिट्टी का बेड़ा गर्क, और सारा हेल्दी बैक्टीरिया जो है गया उसमें, और उनको ये समझ नहीं कि इस बंजर जमीन में आपकी फसल अच्छी नहीं होगी. और ऐसे वाले, ऐसे चौड़े चौड़े पत्तों वाले पेड़ जो थे पुणे में मैंने देखा तो मुरझा गए थे बिल्कुल. ये एक बात, ये किसी की स्लाइड थी, मैंने उनको कहा साहब मैं इसको यूज कर लूं, कहते कर ले. पानी अमृत है. ये जो ये 3 वर्ड नीचे हैं, समृद्धि सलिला अधनेह, प्रॉस्पेरिटी इज कंट्रोल्ड बाय वाटर. हमारे पूरे देश में हमको ये सिस्टम करना होगा, बारिश हुई तो वो बह ना जाए वापस, और नीचे चली गई तो स्टोर हो जाएगी, पर ग्राउंड वाटर की स्टोरेज की एक कैपेसिटी है, उसके बियॉन्ड स्टोर नहीं होगा, वो वेस्ट होगा. आपको कुछ सिस्टम, वो जो ये नेशनल लेवल रिवर लिंकिंग वाला था, वो आई थिंक दैट वाज एक्चुअली डॉक्टर के एल राव के टाइम पे. मैं जानता हूं, मैं इसको एज ए स्टूडेंट, एज ए स्कूल बॉय उसको फॉलो कर रहा था. वो रिजेक्ट किया गया था ड्यू टू मेनी जियो टेक्निकल रीजंस. बट ऑन ए लोकल स्केल आप रेन वाटर को बचा सकते हो, और उसको इस्तेमाल कर सकते हो, और उसी का हिसाब किताब करने से मेरे ख्याल से हमारे देश में जो एक ह्यूमन वैल्यू है, ह्यूमन हैप्पीनेस है, ह्यूमन सेफ्टी है, ह्यूमन कंसर्न फॉर ईच अदर है, वो बहुत बढ़ेगा. ये एनवायरमेंट डे पे कम से कम इसकी कसम खाएं, हम थोड़ा थोड़ा बातचीत करके लोगों को परसुएट करें, कन्विंस करें कि ये करने से हो सकता है. वी कैन डू इट, वी मस्ट डू इट, एंड वी मस्ट सक्सीड इन डूइंग इट. ये जो हमारा वो जो ये प्रोजेक्ट, यूएन प्रोजेक्ट था, उसमें ये बातें कहीं पे थी, मैंने उसको अपने टॉक के लिए जस्ट डाली. अर्थ is our mother, it nurtures us, protects us, let's pledge to manage it wisely. आप अपनी माँ को भी ना बचा पाइए, धरती ही है रियल माँ हमारी, तो कितनी मूर्खता है. Conserve and recharge Earth's web of life, its soil, water, air, plants, living creatures, so that it's livable for our future generations. Let each of us harvest rainwater, carry jute cloth bags. In fact, the polythene and the those wasted sachets which is spread across our soil cover has made it impervious. वो इतना पॉलिथीन उस तरफ फैल गया है सड़सड़ा के कि बारिश होती है तो पानी वो ऊपर खड़ा रहता है, अंदर नहीं जाता, उसके ऊपर से बह जाता है। ये प्लास्टिक की बोतलें और पॉलीथीन के लिफाफे, जो कानून बना है, पर कानून को कौन पूछता है। और पुलिस वाले भी खड़े होते हैं, वो भी कुछ नहीं कहते। किसान भी बेचारा मजबूर है, कहता साहब लोग थैला लेके ही नहीं आते। और हमारे जैसे जब दो तीन थैलों के पास साथ पहुंच जाते हैं तो लोग पूछते हैं क्या बात, थैले क्यों लाए हो? मैंने कहा क्या बात, तुम क्यों नहीं लाए हो? तो सीधे ही आ गया मैं, वो घर गया ही नहीं, नहीं तो ले आता। तो मैं कहा छोड़ो, तुम अगर सीरियस होते तो तुम अपनी कार में या स्कूटर में वो थैले रखते कि मंडी में जाना है, वहां से कुछ लेना है। तो ये छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं। एक और ये जो हमारा पोल्यूशन की बात है, सरकारी पैसा मिल जाए तो हम एसी लगा लेते हैं। मैंने अभी अपना एसी बंद कर दिया, एक पंखा एक पे चल रहा है, आई एम एबल टू टॉक, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। बट सरकारी पैसा मिल गया, प्रोजेक्ट मिल गया, तो एक कंप्यूटर ले लिया, उसके बहाने से उससे कहीं कॉस्टली एसी लगा दिया, ढेर सारी बिजली फूकी। और कई लोग मैंने ऐसे भी देखे जो गर्मी में सूट और टाई डाल के बैठे हैं, एंड इंस्टेड ऑफ ड्रेसिंग अप एज पर वेदर, सर्दी है तो आप कोट डाल लीजिए, गर्मी है तो आप लाइट वाली शर्ट डाल लीजिए, needlessly aping the West and trying to have a suit and necktie for the heck of it is a foolish, जिसको बोलते fad of our nation. We must discover pride in wearing simple light clothes for most of the time because we are in a warm country. जब ठंड है, ठंड होती है, नॉर्थ इंडिया में तो बहुत ठंड होती है, we have to dress up. तो ये वाली कोट मैंने पहले भी बोली, अंग्रेजी में ट्रांसलेट किया, आई बिलीव इट्स परफेक्टली पॉसिबल फॉर एन इंडिविजुअल टू अडैप्ट द वे ऑफ लाइफ of the future without having to wait for others to do it. थोड़ा सा लैंडस्केप अंडमान का है। अंडमान में जैसे कोरल रीफ टूटा देखा मैंने, और एक बंकर भी जापानीज टेढ़ा होता देखा, तो लोगों ने बताया कि ये कोरल रीफ के टुकड़े हैं पूरे, ये सुनामी ने तोड़े हैं, और तब के टूटे, अभी तक टूटे। ये हमारे हिमालयन रीजन का लैंडस्केप देखिए। ये रीजन बाई चांस साफ है बिकॉज यहाँ टूरिस्ट नहीं जा पाता, और हम नहीं जा पाते, ज्यादा लोग, जियोलॉजिस्ट ही जाता है, नहीं तो हमने इस ग्लेशियर में भी प्लास्टिक की बोतलें फेंक देनी थी। हमने चंद्रताल, एक झील है, मैं भी दिखाऊंगा आपको, ये पानी के छू, इसमें नहीं है, पर ये सोमरेरी लद्दाख की झील, ये साफ सुथरी है, अभी भी भगवान की दया है। पर ये सॉल्ट लेक है सोकर की, ये पोटेशियम क्लोराइड है। वहां का लोकल आदमी जानता है कि इस लैंडस्केप में जो सॉल्ट है, ये ब्लड प्रेशर वाले लोग सेफली कंज्यूम करते हैं, और लोग इसको ये माइन कर लेते हैं अपने आप देखिए एक गांव वाले की, एक रूरल ट्राइबल बंदे की जो विजडम है, अर्थली विजडम, कितनी प्रबल है और कितनी सफल है। These, see, our country, the total landscapes of our country are so beautiful, so full of variety. Our island territories are so full of beauty and variety. It's a shame that we are a poor country. We would like to go to other countries and see the beauty. I felt so sorry that I had not gone to Andaman so far. I went there only a little before the this COVID came, I think in 19 December. But now I'm told we are ruining those islands too. We are perhaps, if in Himalayas we are making expressways as wide as Gurgaon, imagine, we are butchering and killing the Himalayas. There is a great need for scientists to speak up and to force the scientific temper down the throat of all those who are for no rhyme or reason developing expressways. आर्मी का बहाना नहीं चलेगा. Army made beautiful roads without ruining the geology and the landscape. Now we are making unsafe, unscientific expressways. All the green slopes across the Himalayas have been made gray They have been plastered with cement slurry, and all the geological outcrops have been covered with 1 meter, 2 meter thick concrete walls. This is the scenario, I'm told, across the Ghats too. And if we don't speak against this butchering of our landscape, all celebrations of Environment Day are a waste. We got to. This is, see the scenario at the world's highest motorable road, Khardungla. This is a chap, Dr. Dorje. He's a PhD in geology, and he has started geotourism and ecotourism consultancy in Leh. If we have one Muhammad Maki in Pune, give his example that look, we need millions of Makkis across the world. Persons like him set an example of knowledge and deep knowledge by a person who doesn't hold the degree of geology. This is Thabo Monastery. This is Thabo Monastery. This is Thabo, the Carboniferous terrain or the Spiti plant locality. Kunzum Pass, active landslide in Kinnaur. I happen to see it on the other side of the river, and this picture is there in that book by Dr. Bhargav and Kumbhakarni and me. This hell was let loose in our beautiful rivers because we could not communicate. We didn't have the will to communicate. We just gave a routine warning and we let thousands die in flash floods. The atmospheric warning was given, but it was not forced on the land. Even today, you get some dead bodies coming out of that. This could have been averted. If warnings are given, I was traveling to New York to take a flight from Pennsylvania in 2013, and my daughter got message that flash floods are feared. There was heavy rain. She halted at a higher spot, and all the vehicles moved to higher spots and halted till the warning was taken away. I said flight miss हो जाएगी. She said पापा flight miss हो जाए वैली में होंगे तो हमारी कार बह जाएगी और हमारी टोटल जिंदगी की फ्लाइट ही मिस हो जाएगी. So this is a concept of safety we got to inculcate in our people, in our administration, and everyone else. Here is close to Darcha in Lahore, this entire Upper Proterozoic sandstone fell on a total village. The entire village was buried in 1914 or so. These records they are in the DC office Kilong. Surely we have symptoms of such landslides coming. And today, when we have eyes in the skies, our satellites and the synthetic aperture radar satellites, our own, there's no need for our uh, hills to be ruined. There's no need for our rivers to be ruined. And there's no need for people to die in such huge numbers as they die. This is Chandigarh. This is an old picture. I was traveling to take my class, and somewhere traffic lights halted this van and me also. And I, by chance, had a camera. Those days, I didn't have the phone with a camera, and this is Chandigarh. Number is not visible, and they collected rubbish from one place, and they were taking it to the processing plant, and they distributed all over the city. ये बनारस हिंदू यूनिवर्सिटी है गाय हमारी माता है खा रही थी बेचारी पॉलिथीन खा रही थी this is our destiny we are already ruining our total body we are ruining our next generation and the next generation will not be born our livers are in danger our nerves are in danger our skin is in danger our lungs are in danger. इनोवेशन देखिए आप, कनाडा से बच्चों की वो है, कैन करके चाइना में भेजी हवा सांस लेने के लिए, 8 घंटे की ताजी हवा दे दी. Passive smoking in our polluted cities is going to kill millions, already killing, is going to kill so many. The next generations will be all sick, and their next generation may not be born. A voice raised for that generation which is not yet born is a sacred act we must all join in. Ye beauty, if this can be conserved, if this can be celebrated, the Niagara across US and Canada can be celebrated. Why, if Grand Canyon can be celebrated, why can't the Deccan volcanic territory, why can't the Himalayan valleys, why can't the Ghats be conserved and showcased like this for the global tourist community and global scientific tourism? Why can't it happen? It can happen. It must happen. Otherwise, we are doomed. We cannot be living in that hopeless situation. We got to change it. For that, it's on us to speak. It's our duty to speak. टॉपर फ्लाइट्स मैंने देखी ग्रैंड कैन्यन में, पर मैंने हिमालय में भगवान की जैसे अभी तक नहीं देखी. वो अदानी अंबानी टाटा इनको किसी को वो नहीं आया अभी तक, क्योंकि पैसा शायद इसमें ना बनता होगा, पर एक आइडिया भी तो है. एक्सप्रेस वेज तो बनाने लगे. I don't know why. I don't want to, in a formal lecture, I can't speak many things which are well known. But this is the end. These Moravian caves in Czech Republic are an example for us. Our landscape is full of such beautiful caves, but most of the interiors are ruined by some selfish, short-sighted fools everywhere just get in and intrude and start ruining what is built in thousands of years by the dripping waters. We have lakes underground. 1,500 caves have been registered in a small country like Czech Republic, which is, I think, of the size of Punjab. A river is disappearing into the underground. I think that is the end. Great Barrier Reef. If we can have such a celebration of a reef, we should have done a lot in our island territories. We can do it. Small Morni Hills in Haryana, we have such beautiful outcrops of snow-dendritic limestone. In fact, it's a tiger's den. Long back, I taken my kids who were small then, and they were sitting here. Then a bus driver stopped. He said, "Sir, yesterday the tiger was sitting here. Please take your kids away." Fossils in the Thals in Missouri, Spiti Valley. That's the teacher who had that greenhouse on the Chichen village. We had an example, Dr. Bhargav and other guests from abroad. We were working in the near Key Gompa. This is Key Gompa in the Spiti, the Kyoto limestone, the Jurassic. That these kids came running, asking, "Saab ji, ab kya kar rahe ji?" And I took a minute off and told them quickly. And when I said Jurassic, said, "यहाँ पे dinosaur क्यों नहीं जी? अगर Jurassic है तो जी." So then these French people asked me, "What did you do?" I said, "I talked." Margosov told them that I talked to them in a minute and explained the whole Himalayas and the excitement, and told them that dinosaurs won't be here because this is not terrestrial. So this is our heritage that we managed to, this is our museum. We managed to inculcate these small kids. That's the culture which happens. Once they realize that excitement has to be nourished and its seeds have to be sown at a very young age, they start doing it. Schools have given us 3 hours, 4 hours, the entire school for a chit chat. That's my granddaughter, nearly 12, 13 years back. This is the museum in Sector 10 made by Dr. Sani, Dino Gallery. That's my daughter and grandson. This is our museum in the geology department. This is the end that geoethical remedies to national development. Insufficient focus on earth and environmental sciences leads to poor nation building. Informal education in both sciences is only way today when we have lagged behind in formal systematic education in both in schools, colleges, and universities. All geologists and environmental amateurs and experts need to be grassroots science club movers in Indian masses and classes. Western world built a network of geoparks, geosites, and ecotreks and minted trillions. Our rich landscapes are a blank check of Mother Nature we can encash with awakened masses and classes. Being naturally rich but remaining financially poor, hungry, and downtrodden is our national tragedy and shame. Time to wake up, time to change and become affluent. Multilingual and visual experiences succeed much better than too much jargon and exotic language teaching medium. As new education policy, local mother tongues, Bangla, Tamil, Malayalam, Hindi, Bhojpuri, Telugu, Marathi, etc., emotions for nature are best tools to create experiential excitements in earth and environmental sciences. This is that शांति पाठ जिसमें देखिए कितना नेचर से प्यार है स्वर्गलोक में शांति हो अंतरिक्ष में शांति हो पृथ्वी में शांति हो जल में शांति हो औषधियां शांत हों वनस्पतियां शांत हों विश्व के देव शांत हों ब्रह्मदेव शांत हों सर्वत्र शांति हो शांति भी शांत हो etc etc we need to have it in our hearts we need to practice what we preach thank you very much those are the tribal spiti dance spiti folk dances. Thank you so much. Vinayak, I'm done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So, over to Farjana, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving us very informative session. And now I would like to tell that this session will be dedicated for a question and answer session. If anyone has any questions, they can ask. And meanwhile, some of the students have sent the questions which I can ask on behalf of them. So before going to their questions, sir, I would like to ask some of mine. So सर अगर मैं आपको ये चीज़ पूछूं कि हम लोग रहते हैं ड्रॉट प्रोन एरिया में
I know,
so
I
there
know.
are lot of things which are like creating problems for us like we are getting water around once in a week so there are lot of things which we cannot manage it so I would like to ask you that how we will address these challenges posed by the drought and the changing climate pattern on our water supply क्योंकि क्लाइमेट चेंज हो रहा है पानी हमें अभी कम मिल रहा है फ्यूचर में और कम मिलेगा तो इन दोनों को हम कैसे मतलब कोरिलेट करें और दुनिया में लोगों को बताएं कैसे कि क्या हमें करना चाहिए
Problem is not of water uh, availability. Problem is of conservation in time when it's available and sharing and caring. You see, and then education of the farmers in Punjab, they started growing rice and basmati rice, and all that available water has got depleted. Water table has gone down, and there's a fight with the neighbors. Now, if you can, one state not releasing water for the other state, if we are a nation, we have to have a national feeling and we have to share our resources. We have to share our experiences and wisdom. The problem is of sharing. And if बेंगलोर में हुआ ना वो केप टाउन में हुआ हुआ था ना, we should learn a lesson from what's happening in Bangalore. पानी अगर आपको कम मिल रहा है तो आप कम यूज कर रहे हो ना. When it was available in, when I came to Chandigarh as a ninth class boy, I was surprised that in Chandigarh it was 24-hour water supply. Now we have a French aid for making it a smart city because of their French connection with Le Corbusier, and their demand is that make 24-hour water supply. It will be, you see, we had 350 or so tube wells in the city before we started getting canal water supply from Bhakra. Those tube wells are still working. All the people employed are still working while we have sufficient canal water supply. Somewhere you have this mismanagement and problem of plenty. Somewhere you have a complete drought. So what we have is the need to be very, very frugal and wise with water resources, and need to be just and fair in sharing, and need to have crops which are drought friendly, or which are, if there is a water abundance and it cannot be shared with far off places, but nearby places should be able to share. I'm sure that's manageable. And if it's not manageable, then there is a need to have some water emergency and do it whichever way it's required. हम बहुत से काम कर लेते हैं दिखावे के लिए. जरूरत के लिए जो करना है वो हमें इंटेलेक्चुअल्स को और कॉमन grassroots people, they should all join hands. Otherwise, I've seen, as a kid, I've seen in Ambala street fights over water. Imagine I was hardly 5 or 6 years old. That happened about 65 years back, 67 years back. The future is there. Cities would be abundant. Our coastal areas would be inundated with sea level rising. Our valleys would be blocked by these debris thrown during the expressways. And when floods will come, it will. I have only in 24 years back, we had a massive flash flood at night in the Himalayan rivers, Satluj. It wiped away 98 bridges and all the powerhouses on the route. In one flash, all the development went to docks. These are natural assets and natural processes which have to be managed and distributed. Management vision at all levels. This has to be discussed much more seriously. Solution तो होगा ना कोई. अगर solution नहीं, then pack up. Go wherever you can as refugees. There is a solution for sure.
So then, according to you, what kind of strategies we can apply, sir?
वो लोकल लोग ज्यादा बताएंगे. मेरे को तो इतना पता है कि आपके पास एक रिवर थी पुणे में, मूला रिवर, उसमें आपने जहर घोल दिया और उसका पानी भी अंडरग्राउंड तो जा रहा होगा ना,
हाँ.
और वो भी आर्मी के बिल्कुल बगल में हो रहा है, बॉम्बे सैपर्स के बाजू में हो रहा है वो. तो कुछ सॉल्यूशन तो लोकल ही बताएं. जो ट्रेडिशनल सॉल्यूशन होते हैं ना लोकल वाले, वो ऑलरेडी हमारे सिस्टम में एग्जिस्ट कर रहे होते हैं, बिकॉज प्रॉब्लम्स आज नहीं आई हैं. आप जानते हो ड्रॉट्स, जियोलॉजिस्ट तो जानते हैं ना, ड्रॉट्स हैव ऑलवेज हैपेंड, floods have always happened, and when we start living in the channels or in the lake beds and they're again occupied by waters, we crave बाढ़. मुझे यानी टीवी पे देखा था किसी बंदे को बोलते हुए चेन्नई में फ्लड्स आ गए, तो वो पूछा साहब कितनी घरों में झील का पानी घुस गया है. सर सच बताएं तो घर घुस गए झील के पानी, झील पानी नहीं घुसा. जहां पानी को बहना था या ठहरना था, आपने वहां घर बसा दिए. द ग्रीड एंड करप्शन, ये तो एक बेसिक कॉज है ही ना. मिसमैनेजमेंट इज अनदर. अक्रॉस द कंट्री जो हमारे मल्टी स्टोरीड फ्लैट्स बन रहे हैं उनमें सीपेज है। आप देख लीजिए कहाँ कहाँ भूचाल का खतरा है, तो वो तो गिरेंगे ना धड़ाम धड़ाम से। चंडीगढ़ शहर की बात बोल रहा हूँ मैं आपको। जब मुझे पता लगा पुणे में भी ऐसा ही है, बम्बई में भी ऐसा ही है, कितना खराब है। सोल्यूशन तो आजू बाजू में ही होगा, आपके ही दिल में होगा, लोग ही बताएंगे।
Some of the questions are from student side. So first question is like, what are some of the major geological challenges India faces today?
We have tsunami, we have earthquakes, we have landslides, we have flash floods, we have floods, we have droughts. Every country has challenges and it has also got blessings. The blessings and challenges and education and the technology have to join hands. There has to be a futuristic vision and a futuristic planning. If Holland can live below sea level, we should be prepared to live. ये तो नहीं होगा कि हमारे कोस्ट एरिया डूब जाएंगे और हम देखते रहेंगे। हर जगह ही हो रहा है। सबसे बड़ी चैलेंज आप देख लीजिए, पिछले 15 साल में पूरे हिमालय का बेड़ा गर्क हो गया।
गर्व हो गया।
और पता है सबको, बोलो तो कोई सुनता नहीं है, जवाब नहीं देता है, बड़ी बड़ी अकेडमिक फेलोज नहीं जवाब देते हैं, फिर वो सिस्टम के बिहाफ पे आपको बुरा भला बोलने लगते हैं। फिर कभी कभी जो आप बोलते हैं वही बोलने लग जाएंगे वो, जब उनको अच्छे दिखना होगा। ये तो साइंटिस्टों का हाल है। तो नेता लोग क्या करेंगे? उनका तो काम ही थोड़ा दूसरा है ना। मैं बोल नहीं रहा, साफ साफ कोई इज्जत का मुकदमा कर देगा, ऐसा क्यों कहा था।
तो ये जो जियोलॉजिकल चैलेंजेस वो डायरेक्टली या इनडायरेक्टली एनवायरनमेंट पे कैसे अफेक्ट कर रहे हैं, और फिर हमारी जो लोकल कम्युनिटी है वो कैसे इससे
नहीं,
अफेक्टेड हो
आप
रही
ये
है?
एक बात बताओ, इज
हाँ सर।
एनवायरमेंट सेपरेट फ्रॉम दीज चैलेंजेस?
नो
इनफैक्ट ये
सर।
अजीब सा है, लोग समझते हैं एनवायरमेंट वाला इशू अलग है, जियोलॉजी वाला अलग है। एवरीथिंग इज टुगेदर।
इट इज रिलेटेड।
बहुत सारे लोग समझते हैं कि एनवायरमेंट तो सिर्फ पेड़ पौधों का है और कुछ नहीं है। एनवायरमेंट इज ऑन द अर्थ। Earth scientists and environmental sciences are actually working together, and if they better be all rounders, they better be experts in both.
सर अगर फिर जियोलॉजिकल नॉलेज हम दिमाग में रखते हुए हम हमारे स्ट्रैटेजीज प्लान करें, तो फिर ये जो कुछ प्रॉब्लम होने वाले हैं क्या हम उसको ओवरकम कर सकते हैं?
क्यों नहीं कर सकते हैं? बट पॉइंट दिस, we'll have to assert that our societies and our academies will also start talking from the grassroots. वो लोग कह रहे हैं जियो पार्क बनाएंगे साहब, शहर में बनाएंगे साहब। अरे शहर में क्या बनाओगे? अगर वो है गांव में और किसी ट्राइबल बेल्ट में तो वहीं बनेगा ना। इनको समझ नहीं लग रहा कि जियो पार्क और एक म्यूजियम में फर्क होता है। फिर वो कहेंगे भारत सरकार से करवाएंगे, स्टेट सरकार से कराएंगे। अरे मैंने कहा पंचायत से कराओ ना। जब गांव वालों को पता होगा कि ये बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है, ये हमारी है, चाहे वो ट्रेस फॉसिल है, चाहे कोई बड़ा फॉसिल है, चाहे कुछ कुछ भी है, वो उसको टूटने नहीं देंगे। गांव वालों को तो अपनी धरती से प्यार होता है ना। शहर वाला तो यहाँ फ्लैट खरीद लेगा, वहां खरीद लेगा। और जब गांव वाले को समझ लग जाएगी, फिर जब इलेक्शन होगा ना तो वो दिखा देगा, उनकी औकात भी दिखा देगा और अपनी हैसियत भी दिखा देगा। Basically, democracy and science have to work together. And education has to be at all levels, at all literacy levels, in all mediums of communication. And the best teachers are the school kids. उनको सिखा दो, वो बड़े बड़ों को सीधा कर देंगे, घर में अपने और आस पड़ोस में। मैंने एक्सपेरिमेंट किया है। शुरू शुरू में बोलते थे ना सेफर लगाइए, एक किसी ने और बोला था इफ यू वांट टू चेंज द वर्ल्ड, चेंज द बल्ब। म्यूजियम में कोई बच्चे आए थे स्कूल के, तो हमने उनको समझाया, उन्होंने घर पे जाके जैसे तैसे बल्ब बदलवा दिए। तो म्यूजियम में फोन आया कि साहब किससे बात की थी बच्चों ने, तो मुझे उनका फोन आया, मैं आई एम सो हैप्पी कि बच्चों ने वो कर दिया जो हम नहीं कर सकते थे। नेक्स्ट
Thank you so much,
जनरेशन
sir.
स्कूल वाले ही करेंगे सीधा बच्चे, तो इसलिए स्कूल के टीचर्स बहुत अच्छा, बहुत जरूरी है।
Same for me, sir. Sir, now the questions from our side are finished now. So I would like to conclude the session. Today we have the distinct honor of listening a luminary in the field of earth sciences, Professor Ahlu Alia, whose remarkable contribution have shaped our understanding of the natural world. With decades of discoveries to his credit, Professor Ahluwalia has not only illuminated the intricacies of our planet Earth geological processes, but also campaigning environmental stewardship, inspiring countless individuals to take action towards a more sustainable futures. His passion, expertise, and unwavering commitment to environmental conservation serve as a beacon of hope in our collective efforts to protect and preserve the dedicated balance of our ecosystem. So, sir has covered so many important things which are very important for building a great nation, creating citizen scientists, enjoying beauty, grandeur, and thrills of India landscape. So, he has covered he has started from the geological time scale, which is actually a story of life. He has told history of Earth, its average surface temperature and all, and he has told so many things which are important for water conservation, properly utilization of water in our day-to-day life, where we can save a simple cup of water also, which is very much helpful for growth of plant. So thank you so much, sir. So now I would like to ask Dr. Kulkarni sir, HOD Department of Applied Geology, to express our gratitude to all those who have made this event very successful. Over to Dr. Kulkarni sir. There is some problem with Kulkarni sir's connection.
You can
So
continue, ma'am.
yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hello,
So
sir. Dr. Kulkarni sir had just went for a meeting,
No problem, no problem.
unavailable.
I think we are done it, and thanks a lot for giving me this
Yes,
opportunity.
Farzana ma'am.
And
Yes.
we look
okay,
forward
sir.
to being physically together one day. You come to Chandigarh, and let's see what we can do together.
Yes,
So
formally we
as a
will
concluding,
conclude this session.
yeah.
Yes,
So
Farzana
for
ma'am, continue.
yes, sir. So I would like to express my thanks to his, our VC sir for giving the permission for conducting such an informative webinar. Our Pro VC sir who has helped us for organizing such an important event, which will be very much helpful for our environment. And before giving thanks to all other people, I would like to thank Dr. Dhulab sir, whose idea made this successful event, because without his initiative this could not have happened. To listen such an important person who has taught us so many things of life, so many aspects, so many strategies to conserve our environment. And all other my colleagues, all the students, and all the participants who have participated in this webinar, without you it was not possible. So with this, I would like to conclude our World Environmental Day celebrations. So let us carry forward the spirit of today's event in our daily lives. Together, we can make a difference in preserving and protecting our planet in daily lives. and or for the future generations also. These things will be there. Thank you for joining us on this journey of learning and action. Before we bid you, I would like to invite, I would like to invite for the future also that Ahlu Aliya sir will be in our touch. Whenever we will be needed, he will be available for our doubts and anything which we can feel free to ask him. Thank you so much, sir, for improving our knowledge, and we have gained a lot of information from you.
Can
And
can
now
I
I would like,
can, can I
sir.
request you to help me share my YouTube videos with the students and other friends and families? Because
Yes, sir.
Yes,
uh,
sir. That I will share.
because if I do it, then it looks a bit bad. But if others do, it's more effective too. Otherwise, all
That
the
link I
labor
will share.
done. Huh? Kindly, please
Sir, that
Thank you
link
so
I
much,
will
sir.
share to our students, sir.
ask them to comment on the YouTube, not on WhatsApp.
Okay, okay.
So actually, we you have a channel named Earth Talk. I am one of the subscriber for that
Ah,
channel.
thank, thank you so much.
So
Thank you so much.
yeah, I'll send the link to the other students also.
Kindly, kindly. Thank,
Yeah. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you
thank
so
Now I
much,
would
sir.
like to declare
thank you
that
very much.
this session
Yes,
ends here.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. God bless.
Thanks.